We're back here with another episode of the MSK show. This is going to be episode 4. And tonight we are going to be getting out our wallets, and you guys are going to end up backing Dizchord number 2, because my job is to get your bank accounts empties and to fill those shelves. Sorry, I copied that from Near Mint Condition. That's the intro to the show. I thought that was kind of cool, honestly. But I do empty my wallet to fill my shelf because my wife took my money and she gave it to her boyfriend, and then they kicked me out of the house. Honestly, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But tonight,
usually the opposite how that works.
Tonight, our featured guest is CS Johnson. She had a one-on-one with me. Now, I think earlier this year or last year, she couldn't handle the black guy, so she was like, I just got to go off camera. If my husband sees me with a black guy, he might just disown me, might just throw the kids away too. She's been on the show a few times as well. And yeah, I did read Dizchord number 1, and I will review it on my comic book channel very, very soon. And also, Strider's here, Darnell's here, Drunken Emerald Arrow's here, and Azra, who joins only on Mondays, he's also busy himself, is also here. Arza, fucking hell.
I wasn't going to correct you.
I was going to say Ezra.
I will.
I'm pretty sure you don't want to be called Ezra Miller. If I introduce you, it's like Ezra Miller chat.
Back off my dyslexia, okay? I have dyslexia. It's Ezra, okay?
Oh, God, don't associate me with that homo.
So next time we do a show on Monday, I'll be like, man, this is a guy that's a better writer than Tolkien. He's whiter than my fucking mayonnaise, Red Strider. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man. Crazy. Oh.
I'm actually gonna start making my own homemade mayonnaise, so it tracks.
Whoa.
So
all it is oil and egg and some lemon
vinegar. I'll let you have girls for that. Huh, crap.
And I have an immersion blender, so as well.
What really comes down to the question, and this is to the white people, because MSK can't answer this. Is Miracle Whip a mayonnaise?
I don't care because I don't eat it.
Mayonnaise is actually disgusting. That is gross.
Technically, Miracle Whip is not. I don't know what it is, but I usually don't buy it. I usually just buy whatever
it's
says
salad dressing.
mayonnaise.
It's called. I think it's called a salad or a dressing.
Yeah, I was like, who would? Because every time I see dressing, I'm like, who would put that on their salad? But dressing is also used for other things. It's not a bad thing to put on salmon. So if you get some like Italian flavored breadcrumbs, just like smear some mayonnaise on it with salmon, and then put in, not too much though. I had a buddy who like smeared the shit on the fish and it just ruined it. It just like I was eating hot mayonnaise by the end of it. Like, dude, this is disgusting.
Look, mayonnaise is the best condiment to put in mayonnaise.
It's not bad if you're doing grilled cheese. So like some mayonnaise on both sides of the bread when you're doing grilled cheese. Not terrible. No, just do it sparingly. Do it sparingly. Just
cheese
do
and mayonnaise do not
butter.
I throw up if I eat cheese and mayonnaise.
No, don't put it on the outside of the bread. Put it on the outside of the bread. So that way it's frying. Yes. So usually you put butter on the outside of it. Just do a little bit of mayonnaise instead of butter. It doesn't taste different. It doesn't taste.
He's correct. That's what they do at Five Guys. If you get a burger at Five Guys, it's grilled. The bread is grilled using mayonnaise.
Okay.
I never get cheese on my burger. Never get cheese.
If you put mayonnaise on your burger, that's a red flag.
Five Guys, never.
Huh.
Because of that.
All I know is I don't eat Five Guys.
I love eating out Five Guys.
I love the hot dogs.
After hours, they would take Five Guys.
Come on, guys, cannibalism is wrong.
Love the hot dogs at Five Guys.
Oh, the hot dogs are awesome. Wait a minute. You eat them for the shape, don't you?
I will say this. When you go into Five Guys, they offer you just a nice plate of nuts, and it is the best thing ever to get your stomach ready to take in the bigger
thing. That whole thing, isn't that whole experience going into Five Guys, isn't that just the gayest thing? Everything from soup to nuts is the gayest thing. Just going in, getting your food, getting out. It's just
when I worked there, we didn't do the nuts because it was in the middle of COVID, so they didn't want to risk spreading anything.
Oh, okay.
No way.
That's how
you serious?
So the Five Guys skipped the nuts.
I like to find the biggest like bro dude in the room and when I eat a hot dog and I eye contact the whole time eating a hot dog.
That's just
never fails. I do it every time.
I want a hot dog now because I really like hot dogs, not because I like eating them for the shape.
I can't stand hot dogs, despite their shape.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're all gay in our own way. You know what was also something only a mom could do? So you guys know out there, Sydney Sweeney and Ana de Armas just two great looking women.
Still on that?
Personalities doesn't matter. Girls' personalities are always terrible anyway.
They have two
gonna
great
be in
things about them.
They're going to be
Four.
you're going to be in a threesome in an upcoming movie with the guy that played Baron Zemo in the MCU. Actually,
Damn it.
damn it, wasn't me.
I only want that if he keeps the Baron Zemo accent.
If he does that, that would be so funny.
Well, he's German, so yeah, just see Inglorious
You have to
Bastards.
dance. You have to dance first.
Yeah, and then
He was the best. He was the only good part about that show.
I posted in the group chat that they're going to do that. And Sydney Sweeney was loving Gonna Taste on it. And this lady right here was like, ew, that's gross. I'm like, okay, I'll ask her right now. You ever had fantasies about a girl eating you out before you were married? Like before you were with your husband? You ever had a fantasy
No,
with a girl?
Why?
Why the fuck are you asking that?
It's a hypothetical.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to say that
Plead the
I'm
fifth.
going to go ahead and give myself a time limit. So you have till 11 p.m. my time to keep this entertaining.
What?
I am not associated with MSK.
That's all right. I
Hey, Zack
use
Snyder.
him. So he
Nice.
likes to go for the shock value because it gets people to pay attention to him.
I like to dig in people's deepest, darkest desires and pull them out. Wait,
No.
what would that make me? A succubus or something?
No.
To be a succubus, you actually have to be having sex with us, and I don't want that.
Oh.
Well, there's also the matter of demon possession too.
Oh yeah, too. Oh. I was just thinking like I do like CPR on you if you're like having trouble breathing, you know.
I think you can get certified for that.
Yeah, you can. In my area, you can actually get certified.
Audio better.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Is my audio really?
Yeah,
That's
you're
weird.
good. No, it was never audio, just you were flashing in and out.
Really?
Huh.
Darnell, you've
Wow.
been taking them.
Okay, Darnell. Crazy. All right.
Keep that in reserve.
So
Stays by the computer all times.
time for the main event. Who's ready for the main event? There is no main event. I just hyped myself.
I
for no
am.
reason,
Damn it.
honestly. Damn it. All right. So CS Johnson is here. She's going to basically convince you to buy her book, actually. Now, keep in mind, whenever the indie creator's on, we're going to do it. When we do a panel, it's obviously different than when I do it a one-on-one. And one-on-one would be a completely different title and everything. But if you want to support a woman, and just because she's a woman, just give her money, and she definitely does like that because it goes into the kids' trust fund when they get older. They're like, "Mommy, where's my college fund?" Well, you know, lonely, horny men just gave me money for my comic book. To be fair, money's money. Doesn't
It's
really matter
tied
at
up
the end
in
of
the latest
You know what's
printing.
funny about that? Is
I mean, I will admit to being lonely, but I mean, I don't know about that.
So one of my
Right.
books is actually a book. So I was a college professor for a while, and I can tell you, not everybody's suited to college. So I wrote a book on how to avoid a lot of problems with student loan debt.
It could be your life insurance.
Good.
$100,000 in debt.
To be fair, how are they going to bury you if they don't have any money?
How
know?
are they gonna keep you in slavery to the government if it isn't for student loans? But we're gonna promise to
Called property
get rid of them.
taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Sadly.
When your daughter grows up and she was to hang out with her friends, instead of asking you for rides, you could get her a new car with all this money you made.
I'm not buying my kids a car. That teaches them that mommy will give them anything.
What?
So
What do you have to do?
I've already
Walk to
told them.
church?
I've already told them that they're going to get their own cars. So
Smart.
It's crazy how they're probably going to remember that exact moment when they get older. 'Cause I remembered all those random moments when I was younger, like, "Hey, mom, I'm going to get married." And my mom just laughed at me because she was like, "That's just not happening." And then, well, to be fair, she might have been right, honestly. Marriage is for losers. But
My kids will pay for their own shit. Want a
Yep.
car? Buy it.
I will say this: being poor or being almost poor gives you a lot of clarity in life. That when you get money, you just want to have your own shit. I'm someone where I just want my own stuff. You know, people have their own friend groups and stuff like that. I'm not someone to like intrude on someone else's friend group. I want my own friend group. I want my own stuff. I'm like top G in that regard. I gotta have everything in my own. You know, clout chasers, women, riches. You know, lots of stuff.
Power
And you know what-
bottom.
And you know what's not rich? Concord, because it's dead. Sony straight up killed it. It's just gone. Yep.
Did you open it? Don't open it.
I'm not opening it, but
Good.
it's in Spanish, so
It's like Beanie Babies. You could save it and then buy a house with the proceeds later.
He said money is money when referring referring back in the comic. But if you tell him, hey, how is this $20? He disagrees.
Just being honest, $20 is $20. Then again,
I think
3 bags of chips.
I think the complete saying is, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20."
That's what I was getting. I was trying to not waste time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Oh, whoa, $20 bill. George Washington's on that.
Kudos to you, good sir.
I'll love you long time.
George Washington is not on the $20. Oh my God.
I was joking.
I was
Again,
joking.
college is not.
Wow. Now he's
Madison too. Look at that. I haven't seen. I bought my first Lego set with two $2 bills at Walmart back when you could get Legos for $4 at Walmart. Man.
All I know is I love you.
The good day, but I don't think I was alive back then.
Ooh.
I have like 8 of those lying around here somewhere.
I just want to say, hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Always, remember when you get to that Monday you hate and loathe, you're still able to use your body. You're healthy. You still work. And you could be in a much worse situation than you were in. But you got to that really shitty Monday where, everyone hates Mondays because it's the start of the work week again. So, keep in mind, you're able to get back on the horse again. All right. So,
Monday is my favorite day because that's when I get to see MSK.
Lies. He just straight up lied to me.
Someone's got a case of the Mondays.
I swear, if I hear that one more fucking time.
All right, so before we start talking about how shitty Disney is, and I could be in every stream all the time for me because I'm just a connoisseur of shitting on Disney. I will say this to people. How would I phrase this?
Carefully,
very carefully.
I guess Dermy Wormy put it out there. I quote tweeted it. I guess you could say not everything is wokeness or DEI. I actually think it's the opposite in most cases. I think there's many other valuable reasons why something failed. But those things can be applied. Like, people gotta understand there's more people involved with something than you think you know. Kind of like, how you get into something and you didn't know how big it was. Okay, that's just gonna be clipped out in a certain way. So, how you get into a new franchise and you don't know how big it was because your exposure to it might have been that first product? Keep in mind that there's a lot more to something than meets the eye generally. Like, if you swap something out for someone, they might not actually give a fuck anymore because it's not what they are accustomed to see, because people are very, very big on comfortability, like, and how you visually see something for a while. Like, I'll be honest here. You made a Batman movie and he's taking it up the ass and he's wearing a pink suit. People aren't going to like that. And if you try to push that on people, they're not going to like it. People, why didn't they like it? Because they liked it the way it was. Like, if Goku came out as like a trans lesbian and he was like, I'm divorcing Chi-Chi and and Goku Black's the main character of the series now. Just Goku Black, the original Goku's a trans lesbian. He's going to go, I don't know, do whatever trans lesbians do. You think people will like that?
Read books to kids.
That's the American localization, though, brought to you by, localizers.
Yeah. Also confirmed today, the Donzo manifesto of the white male shooter got leaked by the DOJ. I find it really crazy that the white man who almost killed Trump had his manifesto leaked, but the other people, we had to kind of like really search them. We had to really get to them.
The Memphis, specifically the Memphis shooter.
I'm about to say, the Memphis.
Hey, we got a nice little bounty now.
It's true. Yeah,
that's it.
That was leaked, huh?
Yeah,
it's
basically couldn't keep that on the wraps, huh?
Yeah, it reminds me of like Batman Arkham Origins, where like it was purposeful that the bounty got leaked out there because it's like, hey, if you want this really big award, you can come in and join us to do it too. Fucking pieces of shit that live out here. I hate America sometimes. Also, and the last one before we start promoting the MILF white lady,
Yeah.
One more thing. It's people. Oh my gosh, she's waiting on her clout. Oh my god. Just the WandaVision thing. Oh my god, people, listen to me. Wanda, yes, was in Greece, and she used a spell to trap people. Okay, people, she willingly was so sad that she went and put people under a spell against their will. The people were
but she didn't know they were hurting.
Yeah, but we did that in the 1700s.
Yeah. She knew they were definitely in pain. Okay.
No,
I
she
hate when-
didn't. She
I
didn't
just-
know.
I just can't do it. And then
Nah,
Monica
nah.
Rambeau, that dirty fucking ape. They'll never know what you give up for them. Oh yeah, their free will. You dumb bitch. Yeah. She took their free will away. Like what? Yeah. And it's all part of character growth and all that stuff too. Because obviously she has to redeem herself. But nothing she did was good there, guys. All that shows is that in an emotional moment, she got so distraught because she was so sad she lost vision that she could control people, and she didn't care if she was using them as her puppets. Yeah, that's something that women do constantly. Use guys as their puppets. Well, speaking of modern day women, we don't have one of those on the stream.
Yep.
All right,
I'm an
so
old lady.
here we go.
Basic Giga Chad, CJ.
This is CS Johnson. Make sure to
Yes,
follow her on
hi,
Twitter.
everybody.
She has more followers than me, so make sure to follow me first, and then don't follow her. Obviously, Here's Discord number 2. All right, so she's gonna convince you why you should back this. Actually, so from my comic and also on Kickstarter as well.
No, so the campaign actually ended.
It's over. All right, so you can't get it. Like
That's why
it's over.
That's why I sent you the new link. I did put it up on my website, and it's up on pre-order for Amazon if anybody would like to buy it there. It's not coming out till January on Amazon though. So.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And on Amazon it's going to be on what, Kindle and paperback, right?
You can't buy the paperback except through me. So.
Okay, so if they couldn't get to the campaigns, they could just buy it through you. Okay, so I just basically give you money under the table, like OnlyFans, right?
No.
That is decidedly over the table. There's nothing under the table about that.
Yes. I'm actually trying to find the Amazon link here. Sorry.
They're fine. All right, so
you're not doing a physical release on Amazon?
So the way that it works and like I said, this is part of, we actually had a long discussion before we went live about the unseen side of business that people don't see.
Yes.
And one of the unseen things is that my printer, who does a super good job with my floppy copies, they don't actually distribute online. Like what I have to do is I have to buy them and then I mail them out. So like my book, so like I'm an author on the other end of things. And so like when I make a book, I have distributors that will like print and ship out regular books. Like even Amazon will do that, but Amazon doesn't do comic floppy copies yet. And
their copies hard.
So you can, like I said, check out the new my personal website, and I'm sending the link in the private chat.
Awesome. So your own personal site. So you're better than Amaranth. You have your own personal website. I like it.
It's not, well, it's one of those things where like if you know how to do it, it's not that hard. So but that's like everything.
That's true. And honestly, it really just depends on how lazy you are. Like there was this video I watched with someone where he was like, if I told you to do 500 push-ups right now, 3 things are going to happen. That one guy's going to go, no. One person's going to be like doing 260. He'd be like, but I did 260. But no, I said do 500 push-ups. And then there's the 1% that'll do the 500. You're the 1% that did the 500 part, actually.
What if I outsource it to 500 people that will do 1 push-up?
I never said you couldn't keep that.
Now you're thinking economically.
now you're thinking like a politician. Why make the money myself when I can have you give it to me? Actually?
No, it's called capitalism.
That's a business.
You spread the work out so that you can get it done faster
and get paid.
So essentially, she's spreading her work to contractors.
Well, I mean, you have to because you can't do everything by yourself. So.
Oh, sure, yeah. Unless you're really, really talented, which like
or you're
me,
really, really rich, and you have your own, and your own like post office. So.
Oh God. So this is Dizchord 2, and as you guys know, I will have a review of Dizchord 1-Up coming up very soon. Obviously, with anything I have critiques, but mostly a pretty fine read. A white lady wrote a black character, actually. So it's the most ironic thing.
I had to read like Hansberry and like a lot of the Harlem Renaissance writers. So I'm not really surprised when people are surprised that I can write a good character.
Also, yeah, it's definitely worth the read. I would say it's mostly off the back of a superhero trying to stop human trafficking. That's essentially the easiest premise of the book. Actually, if you're religious, it's not too heavy on the religious part of it. It's crazy. I've actually read 3 comics recently that had like religious undertones. As long as people just don't cram it down your throat, it's fine. I'm not religious myself. I don't care personally.
But
But
like tie it into the character in a way that's makes sense. And it's not. I mean, you can like having grown up in the church and Christian bookstores. I can. I mean, good gravy! Every single thing that I ever read, every fiction book, everything was all about the message, which is fine if that's what you're reading something for. But it just left me wanting. I wanted a good story because sometimes, I mean, that kind of takes precedent when you're trying to sell a book. So, but yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised.
Well, one of the biggest like criticisms I have of Christian fiction, I say that like most of the Christian fiction I read is stuff that's like over 50 years old.
okay, now you're really doing the grandma thing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's actually good. That's a good step.
Well, they don't have a lot of like structure in place. Like I have friends who write Christian fiction, and I know people in the industry, and they want the conversion scene. You know, they want everybody to come in, but they don't give you a lot of support for staying in. And I think that's the difference. It's very nice for all the seeds to land among the good soil, but sometimes the farmers have to come and till the soil. I don't think that's a bad idea either.
Yeah.
Also, if you're a fan of Nightwing, Mr. Stefan is basically a black Nightwing in his own way, obviously. You know, his parents were around a lot longer than Dick's were. Good Lord, that sounds so harsh to say. Holy crap.
Well,
and his mom's still around, actually, not Dick's mom.
Why would you ruin him by making him black?
See, that's the thing. It's crazy.
Oh, well, I just, like, on some level, I feel like, I think it's just really hard to find people that are willing to write new characters, period. So, and for what it's worth, I think a lot of cultures in Africa have such a good oral tradition that making like the musical ability to hear a soul is a really good connection culturally. So,
hell yeah. So, yes, make sure you guys go and support C.S. Johnson on her website. Actually, you said you can buy the second issue from you on the website. Okay.
You can actually download it right now on the ebook form, and I'm putting up the floppy copy soon, so you'll see it
soon. Hey. I'm not a don't make me a zoomer. I'm a boomer. I like to be able to touch it physically, you know? AI girlfriends don't count. Ugh. Good Lord.
What's wrong with this zoomers?
You guys remember the movie Flubber? That's what that makes me think
of. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
All right.
Robin Williams is great in that. He's great in everything, but I'm just a fan of Robin Williams.
And what else do you do?
The last movie of his I watched before he died was World's Greatest Dad. And the way that he died was so eerily like similar to that on some level. I was like, oh my.
I've seen every single Robin Williams film.
No way, really?
Movies. I think so. My favorite is Birdcage, which is a gay movie. It's the greatest movie.
I want to see Birdcage. I mean, it's Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. I mean,
those hilarious. It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, how can you not love that? I mean, I haven't seen it, but like I need to. And also,
it's
Hank
on Max.
Azaria
it's on Max.
Okay. Also, Hank Azaria being like the biggest wonk in the world, and it's hilarious. I've seen clips on YouTube. Like I'm dying laughing.
That movie is one of the best outtakes that stayed in the movie.
Hackman.
The shrimp?
Yes, the shrimp. One of the best outtakes ever that made it to a movie.
Fuck your shrimp.
Also, C.S. Johnson is a writer like J.K. Rowling. Not as good, obviously, but she's trying, you know. She has her own book series. You can buy those as well if you don't like comics at all. I don't read novel books because I'm black and I can't read, and I'm actually
I love how he paused. He paused for so long on that. I can't read.
Hey, do you know what a computer is?
Hey, Don Lemon was right. Wait, no, I'd be lying if I said anything after that.
You're gonna marry a white man?
Yeah, that's crazy. He said black. He said something about he doesn't like white people, but he like married a white. I mean, to be fair, that's why I've always had the theory that most of these people that are doing that are lying. They don't actually hold any positions. They're just willing to get paid to do anything.
It's
say
I
anything
believe
good.
the term is formation reformation. It's something like that. It's a psychological thing where people, if they like something that they don't want to like, they pretend that they really hate it, or vice versa. If they hate something, they'll pretend they really like it, and they'll almost fool themselves, but they're not quite able to, and that's why they act that way. They secretly, a lot of these people are jealous of white people, and then they get mad at white people because they're not that, and then they don't see through their own
Yeah.
racism.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always thought it was just someone's just such a bought and paid for shill. The amount of money that they're willing to accept to say anything is just out of this world, that they'll just say stupid shit like that. Like, how, like, does that make sense to someone? All the shit he's talked about white people for many years he's done. There's so many clips of it. Did he marries? Does that make sense? That person really doesn't like white people. Come on, guys. It makes no sense unless he's one of those actual self-hating black people, you know, which I doubt really exist unless you're just a ghetto
Like-
300-pound LaQuisha.
That's like Beetlejuice, the mayor of Chicago. She married a white woman.
It is quite
Oh, yeah.
humorous, the amount of white hating Democrats that are married to white people.
Well,
There's
it's
a
because they
ton.
actually
Or dating.
they want to be white, so they hate them because they aren't us. They're just racists.
You know,
Yes.
I think white women, Hispanic women, and Chinese women are the best. That's me, you know. And the thing
Why
I've
would you
always
for a woman?
respected, and this thing is Asians. What I've always respected about any Asian culture, whether it be Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese, whatever, they're always too focused on winning. That's why they always make the most money. They're basically like, they throw their literal bodies into the fire of work, studying. No, and unless you make this amount of money, you're a disappointment. They're just too focused on winning. I can always respect that, though. I know it's harsh and it's super mostly like crazy in their minds, but hey, they always win. They always seem to be making the most money. They're always filthy rich because they dedicated their whole life to just their job. It's actually insane.
A lot of
Family
Asian
Guy.
cultures are they're rooted in honor as like a cornerstone of their society.
Mhm.
And one way that you have honor is by gaining riches.
That's true.
And then it's further influenced and reinforced by family metrics. So
All right. So
where you
How is
pe-
it-
where you find people that have like low family like I guess like family connections and community, like if you're not close with your family, you're less likely to be successful.
I guess it makes sense.
Yes, you have a lot of reinforcement from day one. If you're born into a family that they want you to succeed and this is what you have to do to succeed.
You doctor yet? No, Dad, I'm 12. Talk to me when you're doctor.
like that is so true. Like I swear, even in League, like if the League of Legends pros in like Asia don't go pro when they're not on a team, they feel like they're a straight up disappointment unless they win. Even the player that's won pretty much everything other than God's love, essentially, he is still looked down upon. He's won, come on, guys, he's won everything you can think of as far as League, and even that's not good enough because there's this new guy that came up that's better than him right now, also winning things. No, I lost my honor. God, man, I love Asian people. The winning is
By
so
overzealous
strong.
Asian kids standing in line for school tomorrow. Dad, no, just keep going. No time to say bye. I passed you because you lose focus. Damn, lose
God.
focus. Life over.
That's why I couldn't even date an Asian girl, because if I meet their parents, I'm like, what do you do for work? I do consecration. How much views you get? I don't know. Not good enough. You done my daughter.
Talk to me when you're
Asians, man.
doctor.
Well, everyone, how was everyone's week? We'll start with Strider. How was your week, man?
Well, moved into a new place. That was fun, as you can see behind me. And I did not remodel. I'm not that skilled, but yeah, settling in. It's been pretty good. Taking a dip in the pool downstairs a couple of times. It's been nice. And just settling in and trying to figure out what to do with myself now. It's kind of fun. It's a good problem to have.
Did you think about me earlier today?
Not even at all.
Oh, you didn't think about it when you were putting your TV box on your entertainment
Hey,
center.
whoa.
I did that last week. That was the first thing I did. So I had no reason to think.
So
about
MSK, I went to Walmart and within 10 minutes I saw two Mexican families buy, open, and mount their TVs in 10 minutes.
They were so eager they mounted it in Walmart.
All right, you're falling behind, dude. They bought the entertainment center, mounted it while in the store still.
Oh god!
They mounted it on the entertainment center and hauled it out. They didn't even buy the entertainment center. Walmart was, of course, it's two families. Of course, it's two families.
They brought
buying the one
center
TV.
in.
They're taking the whole damn family with them. That's the thing, though.
COVID was just an excuse for people to stop doing 24-hour open stores. It was really to get rid of the homeless people.
Oh man, I miss my 24-hour Walmart.
Yeah, 24-hour Walmarts. Oh my god, great idea. But it was a great idea, but the execution was bad because people are always going to ruin anything good. It's always people that ruin the good ideas, you know?
Oh yeah.
Well, Drunken Emerald was sick, so he said he didn't do anything much this week. Arza, what did you do this week?
I've just been doing classes in my channel. I did go visit my family for my birthday.
Awesome.
So that's where I got the absinthe was for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
My account gained, I think, 20 subscribers.
Oh yeah, dude. Awesome.
So I'm sitting at 34 after the 2 weeks I've been online. So I had a video surpass 2,000 views. I don't know how that happened.
Do you know what's not going to get viewed? Daisy Ridley's newest Ray movie. That's
the one that got canceled.
Potentially.
Well, it's not
allegedly.
canceled yet, but it's Lucasfilm canceled. I mean, we're going to delay it, and then eventually just going to.
I'm still calling it right now.
I thought it was ever going to come out.
I'm still saying it right now.
Eventually, we will get the Rain Johnson trilogy.
Yeah, and just combine it with his what is it, the glass?
It all take place on his forehead.
Oh, no, I'm still saying it right now.
We'll just incorporate it as part of the Knives Out series.
Patty Jenkins still was treated the worst. They had that lady create a trailer and then never do anything. They hyped it up.
Star Wars.
Which that would have been freaking cool. That was the one thing I was excited about because I grew up reading the Rogue Squadron novels, and those were kick ass. It was like Top Gun in space. You can't go wrong. That right there would have made gangbusters. That would have been Disney's first $1 billion movie.
Those are my
Skywalker.
Those are my episodes 6.5, 7.5, and 9.5 and 10. Because I read them. I throw the Throne trilogy in where they belong chronologically, and I Jedi, and then end it with the last book of the.
Isn't the last book the New Republic, right?
No, the last book is
out of order.
No. I mean the last Rogue X-Wing book.
Oh, okay.
The last X-Wing book. That's what I'm talking about. That's how I ended. I read that and I'm done.
Because they went out of their way with Disney to tell Patty, hey, we know you're leaving Warner Brothers because they put Wonder Woman 1984 on day and date. You know, she basically like left the other studio for the rivals. It was like a cool like sports thing. And then they gave nothing. They gave her nothing, guys. Here's the background. We found out Rogue Squadron was still in development hell from her. Remember those Twitlonger posts people used to do on the old Twitter? She told us basically, yeah, I'm kind of still doing it. Then they said, oh yeah, it's still in active development. Kind of find out it's been shelved indefinitely. With the Rangers Gina Carano show was obviously shelved after what happened.
That was a surprise to nobody.
And then what else got shelved? The Rian Johnson trilogy, the Taika Waititi movie, never coming out. The Lando movie.
Let me say I was surprised they shelved the Gina Carano movie show because I expect them to cast someone else.
I thought that too. I thought they were going to recast her.
Well, there aren't enough manly transvestites for them to hire.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they're going to do. Well, they weren't going to cast another Cara Dune. They were going to put some different characters that fit their boxes.
Yeah, but then everybody, that's the thing. That's what makes it so strange. And that's how you know they were just going scorched earth just to be dicks about it, because that's what they could have done. Just put anybody into that role. Anybody else, introduce a new character with some familiar side characters. I don't know. But no, they decided to scrap her role. They decided to scrap her character. They decided to remove her altogether from Mando. They decided to scrap the entire freaking project just to stick it to Gina for daring to question Disney.
Removed her from all the Lego sets.
Oh yeah, they did. I forgot about that. Yeah. Again, they are doing everything they can to memory hole her. But the thing is, the internet's forever, and for some reason, Disney is, despite being some of the pioneers of animation and entertainment in general, they forget that the internet's forever. They forget that the internet fucking exists, for Pete's sake. Like they don't realize that just by them trying to destroy her memory, that's going to make us hold on tighter. And we still do. Now she's suing their asses for, I mean, they can't get out of it. There's no way. This is going to be hilarious to watch next year.
Yeah, the Streisand effect.
Yep.
And
Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Well, I'm going to look harder because fuck you.
and
Never
also
underestimate the power of the fuck you.
the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. We've not heard
What
really
a
anything
good
about
name.
that.
I
What a
Great
expected,
name.
I expected the Rey movie to get made before the Mando movie did, because Rey
Yeah.
is Kathleen Kennedy's Luke Skywalker. She is proud of that bitch. She
Yeah.
loves that woman. I mean, of all the things to announce, a Rey movie, a character that nobody wanted, nobody liked, even when not to say anything bad about Daisy Ridley. Yes, I'm looking at you, Star Wars, explaining Molly and Matt Damon, because fuck you guys. I think Daisy Ridley was fine. I liked Daisy Ridley and the role in Force Awakens. And then Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker rolled around and realized, oh, we're all focusing on her. And nobody likes her. There's nothing to her. And then she steals Luke Skywalker's name. She's a Palpatine, steals his light. I'm pretty sure she steals the kyber crystals from Luke's and Leia's lightsabers before she buries them and creates her own. And where else would she have gotten them, by the way? And nobody liked her. Nobody liked her character. Nobody identified with the character. Nobody can even tell us who the hell she is aside from her last name. And she wasn't bad. There's nothing on Daisy Ridley. She was fine. But she was Kathleen Kennedy. But that character was Kathleen Kennedy's baby. That character was Kathleen Kennedy's stand-in. If you notice, every single Lucasfilm property, there's always a plucky brunette that takes center stage above everybody else that we want to see. They did it with Willow. They did it with the Indiana Jones. They did it with Star Wars. They did it with... I'm missing one.
Rogue
I'm missing
One.
an obvious. Rogue One, yeah, Rogue One was there too.
Rogue One is that?
Yeah, they had a plucky brunette.
I didn't feel that with Rogue One. I don't know.
See, I
just
didn't
don't see the
either.
Message.
Well,
I
the
didn't.
problem
There wasn't a message,
is,
but
like, it's the slippery slope thing. Okay, the first foot is fun, and then you realize that you're actually on a cliff. So
Well, to be fair, you have to drive to the cliff first, actually.
And I don't actually think that there was ever supposed to be a Rey movie. I think it was never actually got out of planning. I really believe the theory that Charbade, whatever the hell her name is, really jumped the gun and was she went out to CNN to make that announcement without Lucasfilm knowing. And I really think that she jumped the gun on that and blindsided everyone. I don't think
Trying to
anyone
force
approved of that.
Disney's hand.
Oh,
Yep.
And the other thing I want to bring up was the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. That just had a release date. They've not really announced anything to it.
That's still happening.
I truly believe they just want to be a TV show franchise at this point. I don't think they want to have movies. Like, we've not had a Star Wars film since what, 2019? Right? Yeah.
We haven't had a Star Wars film since 2003.
True. Actually, yes. We haven't really had a Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi, but I digress.
Well, 5 was when Friend of the Sith came out.
Well, we did the Clone. Well, it's crazy. If you factor in the Clone Wars, kind of kept Star Wars afloat for a long time. It was animated too. That animation looked pretty yikes. But then again, for the time, I guess. But we've not really. I don't know. Everything from that company just screams, "We want to be TV show. We want to be this." And it's like, man, if you told me Star Wars, one of the biggest franchises ever created on this planet, would be a TV show franchise years ago, I would be like, wow.
Because here's what those of us who remember Disney and TV shows like, you're watching Disney Channel. That's what we remember as Disney TV shows. We don't remember anything else, anything really decent that they've done. Maybe a made-for-TV movie that's not half bad, like George of the Jungle. I first saw that on TV, and I love that movie. It's still one of the funniest ones I've ever seen. I don't know why. It just always makes me grin like an idiot. But
look,
Disney... Go ahead. Sorry.
I was watching Disney Channel in 2011. Okay. I remember they were putting out semi-decent content very regularly. Yeah. I mean, you had all the Sweet Life of Whatevers. You had a bunch of made-for-TV
It was pretty
movies.
Funny.
We were getting constant movies. So their stuff wasn't great per se, but it wasn't this ideologue crap that has nothing of value whatsoever to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, they just made all adults act like idiots and were fucking dumbasses.
Well, that's always been the case. Did you remember Good Luck Charlie?
That was everything Disney ever did.
Yeah.
Adults are always idiots.
I hate that. I hate that trope so much because no wonder kids have such an inflated ego now. because they were raised on the Disney Channel. They were raised to see adults as just dumbasses who don't know what they're doing. And kids take charge. We know what we're doing. No, you don't. You're kids.
I had to stop my kids from watching Disney for about 2 years because they were doing that. They had that mentality. All four of them had that mentality.
And
I was in a lot of watching these shows that had the parents like that.
How interesting! That was a decade ago. And look where those kids are now growing up and with their own families. And look at the kind of kids that they're raising. They're raising iPad kids, and like we going from Disney Channel kids to iPad kids. It's kind of nuts. I grew up on PBS. That's how we were able to afford.
Yeah, I grew up with Wishbone.
Same. How funny! PBS is public broadcasting. It's run by the state. We are a better generation raised by state-run media than the privately held company of Disney for the generation or two after us.
We had Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We did. I did not, but we did.
Okay, I technically still have it because I have the entire series, and my children are rewatching it.
So. I'm watching it for the first time.
But I remember when I was like 8 years old watching the final episode on TV as an event. Okay.
Yep.
You guys watch Avatar?
Yeah.
You guys are losers. What the heck?
Can we kick him?
Yeah.
He's just disappointed that there's not enough black people in it.
Right. I could never get into Avatar. I tried.
And they need to change it
for a little bit. Oh, I forgot. They have to change it just for me.
They have to change. They cannot show all Asian people in an Asian geographic setting. It cannot be.
It is too Asian for MSK. So
they have to have Native Americans. They have to have Indians, the dot Indians. They have to have Middle Easterns. They have to have Russians. That's all not fair because Russia butts up to China and coast to Japan, so they need to be in it.
Also true.
Sorry.
But actually, it's fine. It's fine to make all Asian people in an Asian setting if it's made by Asians, but because it was made by a bunch of white people at Nickelodeon and kicked ass, by the way, our modern audiences, which let's be honest, no modern audiences would have a problem with that. It would only be the idiot critics at Variety and Vanity Fair and all them who are like, is this cultural appropriation? The rest of the viewers are like, this is great. If it were released today, I don't know how it would do. Well, actually, I do know because it kind of came and went at on Netflix, the live action version. I forgot it existed because I was watching the cartoon.
It came out?
Yeah, the live action. It came out last year.
Really?
Yeah, that's the thing. I completely forgot about it. I remember watching. Yeah, I was watching the cartoon. I was like, this would be kind of interesting in real life. Oh, wait a minute. It actually did release in real life, but nobody who was a fan of the show liked it. Everybody who watched it and wasn't familiar with the original cartoon was like, okay, this isn't bad. But anybody who watches who was a fan of the cartoon, watched it, was like, I hate this. So I don't know if they're going to make a season 2. I can't see how.
They've already cast Top 4. They're making it.
Oh, God. That's unfortunate.
Did you guys see
the Top isn't black, but which one?
Did you guys see the sequel series, Legend of Korra? They called it.
Oh, I loved Korra. That's an unpopular opinion, but I love Korra.
Yeah, it is unpopular. It's unpopular because it's like the right, like thing to say. It sucks. Yes.
Yeah, Korra is really controversial just because some people think Korra is a girl boss, early Mary Sue prototype. I disagree. The entire last 2 seasons is her dealing with severe PTSD from being murdered. I liked it. I thought it was great.
I think the key is that there is conversation about whether or not she's a girl boss. The fact that if everybody but the woke idiots can say that's not a girl, will claim that something is not a girl boss when it's something will claim that somebody is a girl boss and be right about that, but it's only the woke idiots who oppose it. So the fact that there's even discussion, I would argue mean that she's not a girl boss. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But the fact that that's an ongoing debate, I think is pretty interesting compared to now, where it's like compared to modern girl bosses of Rey and Galadriel.
You can't discuss whether or not they're really girl bosses. If you say it, you're a Nazi, I guess.
Fine, whatever. I don't care. But everything's a Nazi. Nothing is. I don't care.
No, it's like, would you rather be a communist or a Nazi?
And again,
communists were worse. They had a higher body count. They're basically the same. They are basically the same thing, but Russian communists had a much higher body count, and then Chinese communists was like, we do better than that, and so we do better than that for the next 50 years.
Why is your Chinese voice Italian?
Because
Yeah.
I'm bad at Asian accents.
Sorry.
Babbity boop.
Yeah.
Babbity, babbity,
Bibbidi
boopity.
bobbidi boobity bobbity.
It's probably my favorite Family Guy sketch of all time.
God.
Oh, you need to work
Hey!
on
Oh,
need-
wait a minute. There was one that I saw on a
Funny, and it's like-
Facebook reel last night that you couldn't put out today. It was back in like season 1 or 2. Remember, Peter is at the black rally and he said, "It's your fault we have so much violence in this country, and it's your fault we have all this in this country." And it's just showing him running from like a horde of black people.
You Strider, you need to stop with Asian accent, okay? You can't do Asian accent. You need to stop.
You know, my
You bring
sister
dishonor to your
recently,
family.
Talk to me when you're doctor.
Hell yeah.
my sister recently had a child, and my father talks to him as if he was on Kim's Convenience. Like he just sounds like the guy from that. Whenever he talks to my nephew, I don't get it.
Is he being silly or is he being serious?
It's his, I guess it's his baby voice, but he just sounds like an offensive Korean stereotype.
Base.
And obviously, we're not Korean.
I don't know. Have you had the surgery? Like that one Euro trash moron who puffed up
Well,
his
yeah,
cheeks
you are,
and
you,
narrowed
no,
his
it,
eyes?
it is
All
clear.
London.
It is clear that you are not Asian. Well, Chinese. You may be Vietnamese because there is a
This
difference.
pale?
There's no difference.
okay,
Ladies and gentlemen, I
North
present to you
Korean.
the Asian. I'm just thinking of all sorts of Family Guy jokes around Asians.
No,
It's
oh,
great.
form
the
the
part
head.
where he presented the Asian and it was like they're smart but effective, but will have small penises.
We're
That's South
arched-
Park.
Yeah, thanks, Darnell.
What? What I did?
Your comment at me?
He's Asian.
Oh,
There
yeah.
will be different types of them. And they will all
Yeah.
hate each other for some reason. Well, do
Right.
they at least have like normal food? Oh no, the opposite.
Hey, no disrespect to Asian food.
Oh, I love Asian food. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Asian and Japanese food I really like. Not that compares to the babbity boopy food.
Spaghetti
You know,
is overrated
Sometimes
trash.
Africans have food. It's actually really good. It's just really hard to find any.
Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, but that's the problem now. It's like you got to factor in the reason why they might not do the Ray movie is because maybe Bob Iger or people from the top of Disney have been basically like, hey, unless this makes money, you're not doing. If I'm giving you this money, it better make a return on investment in some shape or capacity. It really does feel like that, because why would they cancel all these projects unless they haven't got the funding for them? Which we know Disney does, but Disney's being a lot more, let's say, stingy with their money now because they're canceling like a lot of stuff or they're reportedly on hold. So if we have to believe this for ourselves in our own brains, are they really putting this stuff on hold to make it better? Because like, how many times have you heard that and that actually come true?
Well, like on some level, and
Once.
I can speak to this personally, they're having a real problem in the industry with workers because of DEI stuff and because of a lot of the older people are aging out. These are people that are like super experts in what they do and they're in the union, so they get a lot of like negotiating power with their salaries and their conditions and everything. And with the cost of living increases and stuff that we're facing with inflation and COVID, like fallout stuff, like a lot of them just either they're, and like there is again the DEI stuff where you have a lot more discrimination open. They're just not able to fill in those losses with competent people who are ready to take charge.
And
That's
my
the
generation doesn't
entertainment.
want to do the work.
Well,
What?
also the entertainment industry in general is not conducive to creativity, period, because the studio system it used to work. I mean, it was a messy system. It was controlled by coke-addled mobsters, but it worked. It gave us some awesome banger movies in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the early 2000s. And then it just kind of became CGI slop, where you watch it, you're like, who the hell greenlit this, and who is this made for? I have no clue. There's just so many. They weren't even bad. They were just like, why?
Well,
I wouldn't even watch this on TV. And so the studio, I don't know, studios had a bunch of money to burn, and so they did it, and they wasted it on mediocre projects that didn't have a prayer of succeeding. but now the industry is contracting in such a way where they're spending more and more money on movies that are making less and less because people just aren't interested in what they have to offer anymore.
Well, they
So I
have
think
they have a couple problems with that because first of all, the culture as a whole is less unified, so you can't actually you don't have as big of an audience pull to like celebrate something. I actually think Star Wars is the perfect example of this because Star Wars is like the hero's journey, you know, the hero with 1,000 faces, and you can you see a lot of subtlety in a lot of their political takes, even though they would be less subtle like back then. Like blowing up the Death Star, blowing up Alderaan, for example. Like you have the threat of nuclear weapons in the 70s and coming out of the Cold War time. I mean, going into the Cold War in the 80s. So you have like valid fears, but like we're so far removed from them that the political messaging is still there, and it's still kind of relevant, but it doesn't hit as hard because we've moved on from that to other wars like War on Terror type stuff wars.
Well, the thing I read, and I know people. It's interesting that whenever you try to argue this on Twitter, which isn't real life, by the way, real people don't argue like this, but they always say, "Well, Star Wars has always been political." In a way, yes, but Lucas actually developed a political system that, because I have the I don't remember the author's name, but he did a huge collection of how Star Wars was made. So all three of the original trilogy, and it is exhaustive. There's so much in there. It's interesting, but Lucas planned he crafted an entire political system, an entire political background, because it is kind of a political story. When you're dealing with an empire versus a rebellion, you got to know who they are. You got to have to set up a little bit of how they got there, because an empire just doesn't become an empire overnight. There is, especially when you're dealing with an issue, because one of the very first lines is, "Holding her is dangerous. Word this gets out, it could generate sympathy for the rebellion in the Senate." So there's some different things at play here. The Empire doesn't have complete power yet, but that sets up why the demonstration of the Death Star super laser was necessary. So it was there to serve the purpose of the story. But he had it all planned out, and it was exhaustive even from the very beginning.
Well, you can see that with the prequel series.
Yeah,
talking
the
about
series,
trade routes and taxation and actually bringing more of the Senate politics and the chancellor. Yeah. Now, granted, that's integral to the story for the emperor to rise to power.
Yep.
Yes. But it's also it's not real. It's not real world politics.
Yeah, exactly. There is not one-to-one.
It's space politics. It's not our politics. You might be able to see some mirroring, but it's nothing more than mirroring. It's internally political, but it's not representing our politics. So it's not the same thing at all.
That's one thing that modern writers do not know how to do. They don't know how to leave their own politics out of it because they have no creativity. They have no empathy. They cannot put themselves in someone else's shoes. So that's why I was actually kind of impressed with the 3-body problem. They actually bothered to show a struggle session in full view of what it really was. You pull a guy up on a stage and thousands of people shout at him and you beat the shit out of him. Maybe he dies, maybe he doesn't. Hopefully he'll die because he's an enemy of the state. But you would not find that that kind of depiction in our modern political politicized entertainment, because it's so far beyond any of their understanding. They wouldn't be able to do it right. And they have no sense of politics outside of themselves, because especially as insulated, not only as Americans, and Americans, we're pretty insulated from the politics of most of the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how the cookie crumbles. It's just how we were on this, how oceans work, and it doesn't really directly affect us all that much. Whereas, because like in the UK, British politics definitely affect France, and French politics definitely affect Germany in some way, especially if you're part of the EU. But enough about that communist bullshit. But they have no sense of pulling political issues from other nations and maybe adapting them into a story organically in a way that would make sense. And that's why Game of Thrones was kind of revolutionary, because this is a political system we kind of understand, because we still understand knights and feudalism and everything like that, but we still have to learn about how this whole world works. And George R.R. Martin was really good at that, because he basically just ripped off the War of the Roses. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's cool stuff, and he has adapted a lot of really interesting historical events and kind of put them all in his own world, and it makes it feel real, even if we don't understand the history behind the inspiration. The War of the Roses is kind of confusing, like Sisters in York. So that's kind of what all that was about. Who eventually would ascend to the throne. That was way back, though.
Yeah, for me, I never got why people implied and projected our politics into a random series in a movie series that's not obviously real for us, right? It feels like people, I don't know, it's always just insane projection. It's like we know that the politics of that story is not reflective of ours in any way, but people have to always insert their life into something to make themselves feel more empowered. And it's like people know this is not a real world, right? This is created out of someone's mind of what they think this world's politics would be. It's not reflective of ours, because if we had a world where we could force choke people, a lot of people will be dying on the floor pretty fast, actually, you know.
Yeah, that organ trade would be solved real quick.
Oh no. Oh god.
I have way more donors for some reason. I have no idea.
God, I've noticed that it happens in anime a lot too. Like anime might be the biggest one for this, where people will just like, but I saw this in real life. It's like, bro, you know, this is a cartoon. That's not happening. Your brain is just fucked. You're not smart. You're just media literate, actually.
Well, the worst one is my roommate would argue about things he saw in anime and use it to back up arguments about real life.
Oh
wow.
No. Wow.
It would depend on the context there, I guess, because even Star Wars, even the context, yeah, that's important.
I mean, it was an argument about swords, so.
Okay, it would depend on the anime then.
Yeah. Sword Art Online is probably the most, well, I don't even know.
I don't think that would be a good one for Sword Authority, really. So.
Yeah. It's a little bit more realistic than, like, say, Bleach or Berserk or something.
We're just arguing about how sharp swords actually are, and the fact that you can hold the blade and like use it as a bat. He did not believe me that is a real thing people did.
Yeah, you grit the blade and have a short, and it's like bunting a baseball bat.
Yeah,
people did that all the time.
Just send him Shad's channel.
Yeah, let's say.
Oh my God.
He is Mormon. My roommate was an African immigrant Mormon.
Yeah.
So you should have already heard Shad's channel by now.
Yeah, you should have already heard of him.
Oh God, man. It's getting to that point where, you know, the world's burning, but the world's also not burning either, because apparently the Penguin series premieres numbers are out there, but Agatha's are not.
As someone who watched both and reviewed both on my channel, you guys should check it out.
No,
I can tell you.
All right, he's gone.
Agatha, I have no interest in that because WandaVision was got significant. She killed a dog. I don't give a shit. She killed a dog as an imaginary dog. I don't care. She killed a fucking dog. That was the end of her whole Agatha all along song. That was a hit on iTunes for some fucking reason. Like, oh, and it killed Sparky too. Like, fuck you, bitch. I hope you die in a fire while your family watches. Don't you dare kill a dog. Kill people, fine, but not a dog.
Hey, man.
There
was a video I saw in Canada where this mountain cat came down and it killed a cat, and it basically had that face of like, I'm the new kitty now.
See, okay, you want to know the best dog breed? It's the Great Pyrenees, because a single Great Pyrenees took out an entire pack of coyotes by itself.
I did see that
and survived.
Great Pyrenees are no joke. They will mess you up.
My phone background is my old Great Pyrenees.
Oh, I'd love to get one myself at my apartment. My apartment can probably handle it, but not the dog fur.
But I mean, Agatha, it's actually not a horrible show, and I'm not just saying that because Joe Luck and I share a sexuality. Unfortunately,
half.
You're right. Thank you. Half. It's just too long. You can tell that they had the toxic positivity problem because each episode is twice as long as it needs to be. Every scene goes on for twice as long. If you just like halved it, it might be enjoyable.
Wasn't it a movie at one point, or am I just pulling that out of my Easter?
It was supposed to be a movie.
It would be much better formatted as a movie. Also,
I was say, well, that's most of these Disney mini series. They're not shows because they're not TV shows. We grew up in a time when TV shows were like 22 episodes long.
But
these are mini series. Exactly. Yeah. But these are mini series. These are movies spread out into an episodic format, and they don't need to be. Just
Also-
make them movies. Tighten the script that they would be much better received.
With
Yeah.
that point, guess how long the first episode of Penguin was? If you don't
Like
know,
50
Hour and 20
minutes.
minutes.
45 minutes.
Isn't it like 15 minutes?
I think it was 2 hours long. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, what am I thinking?
Damn.
Probably SpongeBob.
There's no way. 2 hours long for a first episode? Unless
An
the
hour
double.
20.
No
Well,
way.
here's the
That's
thing.
Was it an hour
crazy.
20? Okay.
There
Yeah,
would
it
be
was
enough
so
story for
long.
Pink. Really good.
It was great, but my God, it's like the episode should have ended at like 8 different points during it.
They probably
I
didn't
really
have a whole
don't-
lot of faith in it.
I don't want to
Then
watch a Batman show that is not Batman. I'm sorry.
If it's Penguin, yeah, doing a power vacuum in that version of.
Okay.
I just want to see that version of Gotham.
I
I just
don't
want to see
care.
Edinburgh. Okay,
I'm
I
not
get
saying
it.
Apparently,
I'm not saying it's a bad show. Not saying that at all.
Sure.
I'm just saying that does not interest me at all in one bit.
yeah, apparently it's basically a show that gets him to the point where he is Oswald Cobblepot with the iPad, the glass and everything. But it's like, that for me doesn't interest me that much. Not because I
don't
think it's
care
gonna be
about the
bad or
origins.
anything, because it all just leads to the same place anyway.
Exactly. Everybody knows their origins already. We don't need it again.
Like
Well,
I
they've been
guarantee you in the first
connecting it to
episode,
Batman.
in the first episode, I haven't seen it. I can guarantee you he's a sneaky, underhanded person. He does some fucked up shit. And at the end,
No.
they beat his legs in. They beat his legs in, don't they?
Actually, no. Penguin's
don't.
fine right at the end of the first episode.
But you do know that at one point he will have his legs beaten in.
No, he won't. No.
Actually,
No way.
I lied. He starts with the hobble. It looks like it's a birth defect.
Okay.
So they actually show his foot. I think it's what Madame Savvy's feet look like. But
Give him an Emmy. Give the show an Emmy.
Give an Emmy. Just
Give
get
the
an
show
Emmy. Crazy. No, it's like
Madam Savvy has weird feet.
remember that TV series about
it's
Pennyworth?
a Pennyworth joke.
To be fair, I didn't watch the series with Alfred Pennyworth either, because why would I watch a show with Batman's butler in it? I don't know if that's
I mean, if you do it right, Alfred's pretty cool. Alfred's pretty
Alfred.
cool. Let's
Yeah.
not gloss over that. He's
Not saying
actually
he
gotten
isn't.
cooler. He's actually gotten cooler because almost every origin has him as some kind of special forces SAS war hero kind of guy.
Remember,
that's
he's the only
awesome.
member of the Bat family who's allowed to have a gun.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I'd like
I
to
don't
see
care to
that,
see it.
but it
I don't
takes
care to
place
see
in
it.
the fantasy world, not at all grounded in
But,
reality.
like,
So I'm
like-
less interested.
I think MSK feels the same way I do. Like, seeing that has no stakes because we know where he's going to end up
True, yeah.
at the end of the
I've
show.
seen it so many
He'll
times.
be
Man.
Batman's
Like,
butler.
Gotham
It's
does
just-
it. Didn't Gotham
There's
do
no,
it?
there's no stakes.
Gotham
Yes.
did it for Penguin all throughout
Yes.
that first season.
Yeah.
Like
That
I
wasn't
like Penguin
bad,
as a
though,
villain. I
because-
do. I like Gotham season 1. I never saw anything
Yeah.
past season 1, but season 1 was really good. Really
can
great
stop.
casting there.
You
Yeah,
stop.
I think I watched right when Marina Baccarin came in, and then I stopped. I didn't
I'm
I've
just
finished
saying,
Gotham.
you don't have to watch the whole show. You got to watch.
Bye.
I remember
Yeah, I've
really
seen the
liking it
entirety
because
of
it's just
Gotham.
it's all these characters I recognize and seeing them all interact in a world before Batman. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I hated Jada Pinkett Smith, though she was
my
useless.
my thing here was I think that show has some of the most accurate comic book castings like ever, especially Riddler. The Riddler they
That was
had
good.
playing
That
Edward,
was a good one.
so good. That's
that's good.
like, and I tell people the reason why you want to cast an actor that is like that can represent the roles, because an actor can also bring the character to life in the performance and their look too. Keep in mind, it's a look thing as well.
Yes.
Like Edward Norton, if it was a black guy from the hood, I'll be honest here, that's not coming off good. That'd be stupid, right? There's a reason why I don't like if something isn't mostly what the character looks like. Because for comic books and superheroes, it's a visual thing and a performance thing too. Like if not RDJ, it's another example. How would I say this? What's another like I can bring up?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt's a good one.
Pratt,
yeah.
yeah.
Like Chris Pratt brings Star-Lord to life. Yeah, that's true.
Chris Evans made.
Evans
I mean, if you
Captain
think about the
America life, too.
Arrowverse, the Arrowverse was made by the actors. The actor
was.
for Arrow, the actor for Flash, and the actor for Constantine were so excellent and
Yeah.
perfectly portrayed the characters that
Oh,
they
yeah.
carried all 3 of those shows for at least 3 seasons.
Well, remember
Yeah,
Felicity Smoke was supposed to be just a minor character, like almost a Barbara Gordon
And that was
Oracle
my
character, and then
problem
she
with
exploded.
and that was my problem with Arrow was Felicity.
Yeah.
Overall, the first like 3 seasons of Arrow was great, but then
Yeah.
he started just too much of simping after Felicity that it kind of started to destroy the character.
They should have killed her off at that point because Oliver Queen cannot be a happy person, and he's failed. He's failed in every single relationship, and he's almost a daredevil. They almost kind of made him a daredevil even a Daredevil Matt Murdock kind of character, where Matt Murdock, every time he loves a woman, you're going to expect that they're going to fall apart, or his Daredevil identity is going to get in the way, or she's going to die. That's no exceptions. Every single character, every single love interest for him has been like that. Oliver Queen the same way. They should have killed her off, but they made her way too integral.
And at least they brought
her name, Melissa Benoist, Supergirl.
Benoist.
Yeah, great. Essentially, not the show after like season 1. Her performance as Kara was good for the most part.
When she was on CBS, yes. After she got on CW, it started to get that was like, we are leaning way into the girl power wokeness now, aren't we?
I love lesbians.
I even liked Black Lightning. Okay, I enjoyed Black Lightning. He is the main actor.
I never heard bad things about Black Lightning ever, honestly. But most people that have watched it for that universe said it's actually pretty good.
That's what's so weird. I've heard a lot of good things about like Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning. I think Stargirl was actually really good. My buddy who does not into that, he watched it.
I watched the first 2 seasons. The first season's to me up there with the Flash season 1 and 2.
I love the Flash season 1.
The second season is just really boring. It's not like bad. It's just really boring. It's a season that goes on way too long than it needs to go on. So boring. I was wrong.
I want to point out that in Supergirl season 3, the main villain is Sam Witwer playing Agent Liberty, and the entire point of the show is proving he's a Trump stand-in who hates the aliens because they're injuring humans and stealing humans' jobs. But the entire point of the season, wait, no, it gets better. It gets better. The entire season, they prove him right every single episode, and he's still evil. He sets up a machine on the Statue of Liberty that disables all alien powers, and he's terrified
off the X-Men. God damn
it! It's better. It's better. He's terrified that the president has been taken over by an alien. The last scene in season 3 is the president thanking Supergirl, and you see her fucking eyes transform. The president was literally taken over by an alien. He was Agent Liberty, the Trump stand-in, was right about literally everything, and he's somehow the bad guy.
Oh, well, that shows you though the complete disconnectedness of Hollywood writers in general, or anybody from LA, really, because you have an entire mountain range dividing reality from your state, and it's unreal how many times they will write themselves into that kind of corner where the bad guy is the one who is correct the whole time, and the bad guy will actually be the more morally upstanding person, the one who actually has a legitimately more moral cause than the heroes, and they don't see that. That's how insulated they are. It used to be writers in Hollywood were like the Hunter S. Thompsons of the world, the people who lived a life for a little bit, were in the military. Like Star Trek was so good and so believable because it was made by ex-military members. Like Gene Roddenberry himself was served in the Navy. He understood the system. He understood the chain of command. He understood how that worked. People who've lived a life, who write things, who write shit, they know about what they're writing, and they can write about it with some degree of believability and authenticity and authority. But now you are raised in high school in LA. You go to Cal Arts, you learn all their generic animation bullshit, and then you get hired into Hollywood or video games or TV shows, and all you know how to write is whatever the hell you learned in college, and it doesn't work because it's all ridiculous, because it's all absurd. The real world doesn't work like insulated California. The real world is much bigger than that. But all that they were ever taught to do is live in this insulated California world and don't hone your craft. Just give us what sells, and here's what we're buying. And what we're buying is identity politics bullshit.
Yeah, I'm in college. I am in a relatively liberal college. And
I love liberals.
I took a creative writing class, and obviously none of these people have ever experienced any kind of hardship in their life. So most people's stuff was utter drivel. It was them writing about going to the beach and drinking. That was the deepest thing they could think to write about in a creative writing class.
Did you get your money back?
I remember in the Arrowverse, they casted John Cryer as Lex Luthor, and I was like, You know what? Actually, sounds like a bait. It was a pretty good casting. I was like, if anyone ever watched 2.5 Men, you would kind of know that John Cryer would make a pretty good Lex Luthor. Actually, what else was there? God, yeah. So the Penguin's out. Agatha all along is out. Rings of Power season 2. I know you guys really love that. You can't stop talking about it at this moment in time. What else is out? I mean, other people are what's coming out? Something that'll be interested in to watch TV wise. Remember that Batman animated series that came out? No one gives the shit anymore. Yeah,
didn't finish.
So bad. No, I mean it was dumped all at once. That's how you knew Amazon didn't want that shit. I think they realized how much money they paid for it, and they were like, "Wow, this is bad."
All of Neil Gaiman's projects have been canceled. Every single one of his TV shows, including Good Omens season 2, they've all been put on hold.
Three. You mean three?
Did they finish season 2? Because I thought it was in the middle of season 2. Okay, so season 3 is on hold.
Earlier here. Yeah.
The only one coming out is Sandman season 2.
I didn't even finish season 1.
I have no interest in it. I love the books, I really do, and I love the audio play. But then seeing Death was an absolute slog. Who's boring as hell. Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer, the guy who's modeled after David Bowie. How many models could you have gotten? All he has to do is act sickly sweet and nice. That's the point. He's described as a guy in Neil Gaiman's own words. He only has your best interest at heart. You just need a sickly sweet guy who makes you feel icky. But then they got Gwendolyn Christie. Like, what a mistake.
Yeah, I really hated the Death casting because I really like. I've seen almost every single DC animated movie, and DC Showcase Death is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It's a 20-minute short following Death. It's on the Death in a Family Showcase series on Max, or it's on Max anymore, but it was.
I saw that.
But that's she's a somber, nice kind of person, and I love the actress they had playing Death in Good Omens, or not Good Omens, sorry, in Sandman. I really liked her in The Good Place, but she's too bubbly. She's the complete and utter wrong kind of happy.
She was perfect. I don't know if you heard the audio drama, like the podcast that they did with James McAvoy as Morpheus. Star-studded cast, but they had Kat Dennings as Death, and she was perfect, absolutely perfect. And she's not doing anything. She wasn't doing anything. She was right there. She looks young enough. She acts. She's not really a bubbly person. She's just kind of a kind person with a little bit of a more upbeat outlook on life compared to Dream. But she was fantastic. I mean, she was fantastic. She's right there. Why did you have to and also specifically because Death was modeled after Cinnamon something, a white rock star, but they made her boring and black. Like, how very typical of Netflix.
Yeah. And the actress is good. I liked her as an actress, but none of that.
Just not, the clips that I was seeing, I'm like, this isn't.
No, I did like the show overall. I really liked episode 5. I think episode 5 is the kind of thing that should be actually studied in like film class because of how well I thought it was done. Just with the gemstone.
Oh, the 24 hours. Was that the one? Yeah, the 24-hour diner.
Yeah, that one.
That, man, I cannot. That's one. Whenever I go back and read the books again, I cannot. I skip that one.
That episode had me so utterly on edge throughout the entire thing. It was such good suspense.
It was. I was surprised at how tame it was. Because even the book, I mean, there is even in the comic, there's a lot that suggested, but I was like, this is surprisingly not as sexual as it should be. Because that's part of the terror of it. He's making, through the Dreamstone, he's making these characters who may or may not be, a couple of them are gay, sleeping with a guy. Like, that's kind of creepy. That's nasty. Like that, like this guy, what is his name? What is his name? Damn it. David Thewlis' character. What? Why am I blanking on his name? But yeah, the guy who's using the Dreamstone to manipulate everybody.
So I barely remember the show at all.
He's a second. Oh, John D. He's like the second iteration of the comic book Sandman, but not like the Weaver, not like the entity Weaver of Dreams. He's like more of the the campy book hero, but it actually makes everybody do things that they wouldn't normally do, including making people stay when they don't want to, and people be really violent towards other people whenever they're not that kind of person, when it makes their dreams come true no matter how dark they are, and makes like people sleep with each other, including a couple gay characters in the bar themselves. It's twisted sick stuff, but the show was a little bit tame.
Yeah, the show more went towards just trying to make people stop lying about things. I really liked the episode. It could have been worse. I watched with my parents because they really wanted to show it to me, which is probably not the best way to watch it. But it was kind of like they were explaining it so aggressively that I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of the hardest things to watch. No, it was just really on edge. It's like Herogasm, The Boys.
Yeah, I'm expecting
TV.
Yes,
that was a fucking letdown.
This is not suitable for any audience. Shows us something that's
I know.
We saw worse in the first episode of that season.
We've seen worse in Game of Thrones all back then. Like there's nothing in there that was shocking. And like even now the Herogasm comic is like, holy fuck, what are they doing?
Yeah.
It's hard to read. That's what good literature will do. That's what good, well-written comic books will do, is visualize something that you could never dream of in your entire existence. That's the point. Someone else is doing it. You're not thinking about it. If something is still shocking you, there's something comforting about that. The fact that you can still be shocked, and that's one of them.
Unless the shock comes from your own mind.
Also true.
Yeah.
All right. So gonna probably end up wrapping up things here, actually. And we'll start with Darnell. Let's start with you. Anything you got planned coming up, actually?
Here tomorrow night. Friday night, and then we have Curse of Strahd Saturday afternoon. I am dying for some D&D.
Maybe. Has Nate confirmed that yet?
Yeah, we've been confirming that date for the past 3 weeks.
Awesome.
Hey Darnell, don't you have a game show?
I was gonna get to that, you impatient bastard. It's not coming out yet, but look for it soon. It'll be myself and Selena, Scream Queen Selena is going to be my co-host. We will be taking over the Mr. Burger Quiz Time show. It'll be quiz time with Quizmaster Darnell Quigley. We may spruce up the title a little bit. It's kind of long, but it'll be starting in a few weeks. As soon as we get all the logistics nailed down, where I can run the show by myself, I can do all the logistics. We'll take off.
Yep. Emerald, what you got planned coming up?
Hopefully going back to work tomorrow if I start feeling better.
Crap.
Back here Friday, and then be moderating Curse of Strahd.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Arza, what you got planned coming up?
I just got I'm gonna keep doing videos. I've been doing 1 to 2 videos a day, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. I've started I'm doing a short now with every video, so I'm gonna do a short that is a under 1 minute summary of the video I just did.
Mark,
problem is editing shorts is a pain in the ass. I have to record on OBS, and I record in 1080 by 1920. It converts to 1920 by 1080.
Yeah.
Convert it in DaVinci to 1080 by 1920. It exports it in 1920 by 1080, but really small. So I have to use a third program to shrink it down to actually be a proper short size. So
I could never get into doing shorts, man. I'm not the kind of guy. I tried it. I just don't have the personality for it. I can't create short content. It's just impossible. My brain is not, I'm not Zoomer level at this point yet, you know?
Luckily, YouTube does have an option where you can clip stuff and turn it into a short. And that's as far as I've gone. I just
talk really fast now.
Yeah, I think I got like 3,000 views on a short, and it's just me in a cowboy hat talking about what Matthew McConaughey could be for Yellowstone. It's like, what the hell?
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome. And Red Strider, what do you have planned coming up? Actually,
I've got kind of a busy week. So tomorrow I'm going to be on Devil Made Me Do It's Wrong Think. We're going to be talking some good old politics. And then Friday, hopefully, if Friday, Rogues Gallery may be back up by then, possibly. So if it is, I'll be there. And then Saturday, Curse of Strahd. So excited, man! That was a blast. If y'all wanna go back and look at Full Metal Nate's recap of all that, I mean, it was a good session, which was strange because that was probably one of the better sessions we've ever done story wise. We did so much good character work, but all of us were just in such a shit state. Every single one of us were having a hard time. Like that was right before I was moving.
I was trying not to fall asleep the whole time. I hadn't slept the night before.
Yeah, you were falling asleep. Nate was also had some stuff. I'm not telling tales out of school, but Nate was also struggling emotionally with kind of his uncle is taking a turn for the worst. I checked in with him, I haven't heard back, but everyone was struggling. Tiny was in pain. Kit was having something. Everybody was struggling. Yet we still pulled off probably an incredibly deep, meaningful session of D&D. And I was blown away. Everybody's character came out in the good and the bad, and yours truly did get a pretty sick, badass moment at the end, and I was really happy with that. But Nate is a master, so we are enjoying it immensely, and we're having a lot of fun. So definitely come check us out.
Hell yeah. C.S. Johnson, what do you have planned coming up?
So nothing much.
I'm waiting for your book, by the way.
Yes, my Kickstarter and my Fund My Comic campaigns are done. So people will be getting nice things in the mail shortly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think I sent I did send all the digital copies out already, so everybody should have gotten those.
You're doing your job? Crazy.
I know.
I'm a broke college student, so I'll support in spirit.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And then I'm working on finishing the script for number 4. I got some really cool art. I got my variant covers for 3 and 4 already. Excited.
Hell yeah. So as you guys know, for me, we're working on editing out the videos that we did in the Iron Man podcast to upload them as videos. There's a lot there, and I have to still dig throughout a lot of the episodes, which is fine. It's a lot of great content we did there. And currently right now I'm uploading the Cloud9 podcast to Rumble, currently on season 4, almost done with that. And then after I get closer to done with that, I'm going to be also simultaneously working on putting out episodes of the Iron Man podcast and Cloud9 podcast up on the podcast platforms to the point where, I can start uploading this show as well. So I got a lot of stuff to do, actually. But yeah, nothing else to really say outside of doing everything that I'm normally doing right now, putting out consistent content and getting stuff done. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK show. And we'll be back here tomorrow, Tuesday, around 8:30 PST. And then later on throughout the week, except for Thursday, because that's just a Cloud9 podcast. But if I do have episodes on Thursday, you guys will get notified when I put the stream up, actually. So see you guys later. Have a great night, everybody. Hopefully you guys have a great day tomorrow. See you guys later. Peace.